Good morning. It is 7:45. Thanks for joining us on Facebook Live, something we like to do at 7:45 every day. Let me introduce you to everyone before we get you started. I'm Tracy McCain. Stacy Spivey and Megan Malaris are working from home, and Ed Matthews is joining us from the Weather Garden. So the big weather story today, Ed, I guess if you could sum it up in 3 words, would be hot, a little while longer. Oops, that's 4.
Yeah, that's it. Who's counting, right?
Who's counting?
Yeah. We've got temperatures that are in the 90s for a few more days, and then we're going to try to drop it back a little bit into the upper 80s with some extra clouds. We'll be up about 94 today, looking at a 40% afternoon storm chance. They got a little front that'll move into the area and kind of hang out for a few days, so we increase somewhat the chance of afternoon storms Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and start to lower the temperatures a little bit. 91 on Wednesday, 89 on Thursday, and by Friday and the weekend, we're looking at upper 80s. As you see these numbers, don't forget our normal high is 88 for this time of year. So temperatures actually getting back pretty close to normal for Friday and through Saturday and Sunday.
So by the end of today, parents and students in Guilford County will have a better idea what to expect when school begins August 17th. Board members will finalize their plan this afternoon. WFMY News 2's Candace Redd takes a closer look at the options.
It's decision day for Guilford County Schools. The Board of Education is considering 3 scenarios to reopen schools for the upcoming academic year. We know that all 3 scenarios fall under Plan B of the State Department of Public Instruction's guidance for reopening public schools. Governor Roy Cooper says school districts statewide can use Plan B at the start of the school year. It calls for moderate social distancing, 50% occupancy in school buildings, and a mix of in-person and remote learning. Well, Guilford County Schools' goal is to serve the largest number of students for the greatest amount of time while keeping students and staff healthy and safe. Well, Superintendent Dr. Sharon Contreras recommends the first 5 weeks of school to open as remote learning for all students. In scenario A, students in grades K through 8th will attend school in person full time. High school students will learn remotely 5 days a week. Students with disabilities or who are learning English, homeless, or living in foster care will attend school full time regardless of grade level. In scenario B, students will go to school in person 2 days a week. They'll also learn remotely at home for 3 days a week in alternating groups. Taking a look now at scenario C. Half of the student body will attend school in person 1 week. The other half will attend the next week. Remote learning will take place on the alternate weeks. Again, the board will meet today to make the final decision. They will choose one out of those 3 scenarios for reopening schools. But again, district leaders, they themselves say that all 3 scenarios come with advantages and disadvantages. To learn more on that, all you have to do is visit our website. That's WFMYnews2.com.
All right, there you have it. Our Candace Redd reporting. Guilford County School Board members making a big announcement about school reopening plans today at 3 p.m. We know board members are considering having classes online for a while, a mix of in-person and online. And there's also an option to bring some students back into class after the first 5 weeks learning at home. So that brings us to our first conversation. How much learning do you think should take place online? And Stacy, I'm going to have to ask for your help here monitoring comments. I thought I gave enough time for my devices to charge. Nope. So I don't have any way of communicating or monitoring with all my friends on Facebook. I miss you all, just saying hi to Jason and to Michelle and to my normals, Shatera, I know they're on there. I'm sorry I can't say hi, but can you monitor comments while we start the discussion? Perfect.
Yeah, I got you, Tracy.
You're the best, the absolute best. All right, Ed Matthews, if you had to put a number on it, online learning, how much would you want? Or I guess the question is, how much do you think is enough?
Well, as far as compared to being in the classroom, I want it as minimal as possible, but I know that at least given the situation with the virus now, that is not possible, at least initially. So I would say online learning where needed, and then see how the numbers fare out as we go through the next 5 or 6 weeks.
All right. I mean, that's a good synopsis. Megan Malaris, do you have a number in mind, or it's kind of hard to say?
I think it's dependent on each family and the circumstances surrounding that family. And especially if you have a child who is immunocompromised or perhaps has asthma, you might make a different decision from another family who has different circumstances at hand. I was talking to my husband about this the other day. Hypothetically, if our son Christian were of school age, would we send him? And we had some differing opinions about what we feel would be best. So I can imagine the really hard conversations parents are having to take right now, still not knowing what the school board is going to do. Hopefully we have an answer to that in Guilford County by 3 o'clock. It does seem the majority of school districts that we've seen so far are doing at least some online learning to start the year and then seeing where the numbers lie and how to do that A/B schedule. But we'll see what Guilford County decides. Of course, our biggest school district here in the Triad, affecting tens of thousands of people. We're all waiting for that.
Yeah, and not only students, we have to think about the staff as well. Teachers were surveyed to figure out, what their comfortability level was. And I know there was a lot of feedback that the district received from that. Also a lot of pushback from teachers who responded because of the way that the survey was conducted. So I'm not sure if in the end it was helpful at all, but hopefully the district understands what teachers are also worried and concerned about as they look to do both online and in-person learning starting in August. All right, Stacy, do you want to weigh in and then get to some things that people are saying?
Yeah, sure. I'll go ahead and weigh in first. So after looking at everything and, really processing what this would mean if I had a family, I think that at first I would be very hesitant to letting my kids go back into the classroom at this time. I think that online learning would be best. However, then I would need to think about how would that work with my schedule and me being able to be here to help them with their schoolwork and everything. It would be a very, very tough decision, but it seems like the majority of parents that I'm seeing on Facebook are saying that they want to keep their kids out for now and focus on online learning, but continue weighing in. Right now, some people have said that, Sharon actually said none. She doesn't think that there should be any online learning. Audrey says 5 weeks isn't going to change the virus numbers. It will still be here, and the only way it will drastically change will be with a vaccine. And let's see, Isaac just says he hopes this COVID-19 and coronavirus will be over, and until they get a cure to get rid of it, and everything will be back to normal. Isaac, I think we can all agree we are so ready for it to be over with.
Yeah, I posted this on my Facebook page earlier, or a question similar to it, and one commenter said, well, if baseball opens and they automatically have a 13-person outbreak and they haven't even played a home game, what do you think is going to happen in schools? Valid point. We see this at nursing homes, wherever there are multiple people in small spaces and social distancing isn't always possible, then there are cases. And so that commenter's comment kind of struck a chord with me, because then you think, okay, well, you start to open up schools and allow kids in, are there going to be lots of outbreaks? And how do we control that? So, it's one of those things that if you are a parent, you are thinking hard every single day about what is best for your child. And no one situation or scenario is going to be a one-size-fits-all approach. It's just going to really have to be you doing what you think is best. The county can make a recommendation, but in the end, it's going to be up to you. All right. That's it for comments? And I don't know, again, I'm like in the dark here without any devices at all. This feels so weird. But Megan, we'll turn it to you for a look at your headlines.
All right, let's get to some COVID updates right now. The death toll in the U.S. now stands at more than 147,000 out of nearly 4.3 million confirmed cases. The fight against the disease reached a milestone Monday when final stage testing of an experimental vaccine by Moderna got underway. Half of the volunteers who are doing this study will receive the vaccine, and the other half will get a placebo. Researchers at Duke University and UNC Chapel Hill are looking for volunteers to test a potential COVID-19 vaccine here. The universities will take part in the phase 3 trial of a vaccine developed by Moderna, and they're working alongside the National Institutes of Health. 30,000 people across the country will participate in this phase 3 trial.
All right, now that you have your headlines and some information about a vaccine and trials, Stacy, let's get started with our next conversation.
Yeah, I was actually just typing it out in our Facebook stream, trying to get some people to go ahead and start weighing in. Guys, when was the last time you bought a magazine? The reason why I'm asking this is because, the Oprah magazine is actually ending its regular monthly print editions with the December 2020 issue after 20 years of publication. They say the brand is not going away, but will become more digitally centric and with some form of print. So this just got me thinking, wow, when's the last time I bought a magazine? It's been a long time. I think that typically I would pick them up maybe if I was gonna go fly somewhere, like in an airport, just a quick grab, but typically I don't really buy magazines these days. I just go and try to find the articles on their websites. But I want to see what people have to say if they still buy magazines or not in this day and age. So Tracy, I'll start with you.
Wow, that's a great question and a stumper for sure. So my university that I attended and graduated from updates me with publications once every quarter. And I think I pay for it because I donate to the school and I also paid for my education. So I'm going to consider that a quarterly investment, right? And my husband, he attended Wake Forest and he also receives quarterly publications about what the university is doing. And we'll consider that a purchase as well. But in terms of actually going to the store and paying for a publication, I don't even know. I don't even know who was on the cover. Probably I have no idea. Can't even think about it. Janet Jackson, during her 1980s tour. It's been that long. All right, Ed Matthews, how about that?
Okay, here's the deal. This is what you do. When you're at the supermarket, you get in the longest line. The longest line. Yeah, I know it's weird, but by doing that, you have to wait and wait and wait to be checked out. And there's just a nice little stack of magazines, a row of magazines there. You can look through all of them and see what's going on, and then you don't have to buy them. But seriously, it has been, apparently it's been years for me. I can't remember the last time that I actually bought a magazine off the shelf. It's years.
Yeah, it's been a while. Megan? Yeah. Well, I mean, now that you're up to date on all your parents' magazines, maybe it hasn't been so long for you.
Yeah, I get the parent magazines online mostly now, but Ed Matthews is right in that those grocery stores are very strategic in putting the magazines right by the checkout aisle next to the candy bars and the cookies. So you have no choice but to, of course, indulge yourself a little bit when checking out. I think the other magazines, or the last time I really recall buying magazines, was more than 2 years ago when I was wedding planning, and I was all about getting all the latest bridal magazines and triad wedding magazines to look at the newest trends and the bridal gowns and what people were doing with their own weddings. And in fact, today is our 2-year wedding anniversary, so all this is really coming back fresh in my mind. But I still have this special stack of wedding magazines at hand, and I hope that in years from now, maybe when Christian gets married, I can look back and compare how things were back then, so to say.
Oh my goodness, when Christian gets married, it's going to be, wow, who knows what the future will look like, right? I can't even think about next year. All right, happy anniversary, by the way. Do you have comments, Stacy?
Yeah, I do, and happy anniversary to Megan and her husband. And guys, okay, so I didn't buy this, but I have the new Our State magazine. And actually, Cynthia says that she gets the Our State magazine every month. Let's see. Nadia says, I still have a subscription that comes to the house. Cooking magazines, of course. Those would probably be good ones to keep up with these days. Dawn says she hasn't bought one since the virus started. Heather, though, this made me laugh. She said, I don't remember the last time. It was a Cosmo, though. I think some girls can agree with her that they probably bought some of those back in the day. Nadine says, magazines are so expensive in the stores. Chelsea said 7 years ago. But Stephanie says that they get Southern Living and Men's Health. So a lot of people still seem to be buying magazines. Others haven't done it in years.
Yeah, there's I don't know, if you have a subscription, you kind of pay for it and you forget about it, and it comes and you kind of flip through it, and it makes, kind of gives you an out from, your social media pages. So I still like thumbing through them. I just haven't bought one out of my personal account in a long time. And I'm going to stop donating to my university as well. Just joking. They've got me for a long time. All right, if that's the end of the comments, and again, I apologize because I'm flying blind, but Ed Matthews, why don't you give us a forecast?
Hey, that sounds good. I want to put a plug in for Our State magazine. If I did buy magazines, that would be at the top of the list. And of course, it's published right here in Greensboro. Okay, now that I've done that little advertisement, 7-day forecast. Mid-90s today with a few pop-up storms in the afternoon. Little better chance of those storms tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. Some extra clouds. We're going to start to trim a few degrees off of these hot, high temperatures. 91 tomorrow, 89 on Thursday. Look at Friday and the weekend. Temperatures actually drop back to about normal, about where they should be this time of year, which is 88. Right now, the weekend's looking mighty fine. Start making outdoor plans.
Oh yeah, when the temperatures are in the upper 80s, how can you not make some plans, right? A little bit of relief coming in. All right, thanks so much for joining us, everyone. I'll be all charged up and ready to go tomorrow, and we'll have more conversations for you, along with your headlines on After GMS. Take care, everybody, and stay safe.